you seem so together. You always seemed so together. And I want to be that. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it. Because see,
You
these
know,
things that you
I love it.
do, make sure it's from your heart. If it's not in your heart, don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
feel obligated
Mhm.
because it's going to show differently. I'll
Well,
give you another example. When I was on
wait
the
a minute.
cruise. Yeah, sure.
Let's stay with growth with this, because what I want to pull out of that was this: is that your lifestyle of constantly seeking to be better. As my pastor say, better is always available, right?
Hmm.
So you now have served as this light, this beaming light, to another generation of people to also have the idea of growing in their life to be better than just the average person, because you're not average anymore. Your journey has made you set apart. First of all, you're a doctor, right? So that DR puts you in a whole nother category. There's only so many of you all that exist, especially that look like you. Okay. It may be a lot of you all in your room when y'all probably get together, but if we would talk about, this country, you're a very small percentage. So you're not average. So I love the fact that you're showing yourself up. And the Bible tells us that we need to be doing that, right? To show ourselves friendly, to show ourselves as a light. And so I hope everybody's gleaming from that her growth is also coming from her helping other people grow just by being a certain person in front of them consistently. Definitely the whole thing about a bonus daughter. I have one now, thanks to my ex-husband, and I'm pouring into her as if she's, a child, but yet at the same time, she's my BFF, because I don't understand the baby thing because I didn't have any, but we can do grown-up stuff together, her and I. So I want to transition a little bit. You wanted to give another example. I don't want to stop you from that, but I also want you to go ahead and transition into how you got into becoming a doctor. What made you think that that was a good
Oh,
idea?
oh my gosh, my grandmother, on my mother's side, was a time where I cried because I could not spell as well as my
Mm,
other kids in the classroom. And of course, you're young, you're 7, 8, 9, but I felt as if I was always a little bit behind those kids because my mom worked, and that was the thing. And by the time she came home, she was exhausted. And
mm,
as well as my dad, my father would come home and he was exhausted. So we didn't have that type of education nurturing type of environment,
mm-hmm.
and I had to seek it. Well, my grandmother, my mother's mother, she she was part Blackfeet Indian and
Oh
white.
wow.
So she had the mentality of telling me each and every time we were over there and she had to babysit, Annette, I want you to know that people can take everything away from you, but they cannot take away your education.
Come on, girl.
And
Come
I
on.
said, okay, Nana, but you're 9 years old, you're 8 years old, it's not really resonating. It's words at that point. She's
Yes.
crying. I can't spell as well. I can't do math as well. I can't do all of these things as well. She said, yes, you can. You just keep doing it over and over and over again, and eventually you'll learn it. So I took that information as I grew out the Marine Corps. I couldn't find a job. I was doing little pity jobs here and there because no one wanted to hire a veteran back then in
They
2004.
weren't even interested. Like, what is that
No,
exactly?
not at all. They didn't
Yeah.
know that we
Yeah.
did more
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
combat.
Had
They
no
thought
idea.
everybody coming out the military would be in policing. Well, everybody that's in the military doesn't want to do policing.
Mm-hmm. A
So
lot more jobs than that.
when I couldn't find a job, I went to the VA, and benefits administration said, well, you have your master's. Why not go for the next level until you can find something? Because in the meantime, we can, pay for your college at the time, and you can work from there. And then that's when my Nana's voice came to me and
Ah,
said, they can take away everything, took away the job, took away the stability, but they can't take away your education. Go for the doctorate.
I
And that's
love it.
just what I did. I went for the doctorate. I went And the doctorate is a dual degree because it's business and education. I love educating. I would I would run to any place to go back to the university. But um, because I love nurturing people to grow where they want to be. And each
Mhm.
time after I finished with my graduate students, I said, "What was the best takeaway that you had from our sessions?" And they all said it was the mere fact that you taught not only from the book, but you gave your life experiences
Yes,
so that
yes,
we can grow and understand, oh, that could be an opportunity for me to grow my team.
yes,
And several of them from those courses, because I blended mine. I blended mine to real world. Here's what's going on in society, as well as, oh, by the way, and here's the book stuff.
yes. No, that
You
is
know,
powerful. Wait a minute,
mhm.
hold on. Oh, they found my picture. They found the picture, not my picture, the picture that was developed. But let's see. Pop it up, guys. Let me see it so everybody can see it. Okay, it's a little
Yeah,
grayed out. Everybody, can you see her? This was Dr. Annette when she was Drill Sergeant Taylor.
drill instructor,
Drill Sergeant.
drill instructor.
Drill Well, we called you drill sergeants back in the day. Obviously, they've done some adjustments to it, but nonetheless, I have another picture, and we got to use it, Bree, that has her with the sword on the parade deck. I was like, ooh, ooh. So she just let me talk about this real quick, and then I'm gonna let her come back on and talk about her growth in her career. And you can bring her back um, as a drill instructor.
Instructor. Yeah.
Do know what that means, ladies, because she was not only, receiving to become that, but now she's teaching many other women that are in the age bracket of 17, 18. Well, I was 21 when I joined. And she's taking their minds and she's transforming it right before her own eyes. Because I know she had to sit back and watch some of them people like, wow, I talked to her about that yesterday, but look at her today. Because I was one of those, just as she was. We were all in boot camp in order to get to any kind of rank in the military. You have to go through boot camp. But just to talk about a person of growth, I wanted to just share that as well, that you have been pouring growth in people like seemingly all your life, right? So let's move on to your career though,
Mhm.
because you bust moves in the government like nobody's business. Okay, people get a job at Social Security Administration. One of the reasons why I thought I would never be a federal government employee was because people get their job and they stay there in the same position as the same agency and retire. And I'm like, that is just so boring. So talk to us about the moves you've made and some of the thought processes about them and what you're even trying to do in the future.
Mhm. So I see a comment in there that they hear persevere, and you're absolutely right, which is a
Yes,
great
yes.
segue into what I'm getting ready to say. It's the perseverance. It really is. That person hit it right on the head. I was with several. As a matter of fact, I'm not with Department of Veterans Affairs anymore. I'm with Social Security
That
Administration.
I knew already. I know. I was around when you was making that move.
Mhm. Right.
Congratulations.
So
Give us some
exactly.
shout out, everybody. Congratulate her. She made another move.
I did. But it's all about if it's not, and you're right, with Social Security Administration, I'm noticing that every person I've spoken with so far has been there beyond 10 years. And that could be great for them. It just, for me, wasn't a great fit at those other organizations. I was with Department of Veterans Affairs. I was with National Science Foundation. I was with Department of Homeland Security, both at their headquarters and as their chief learning officer, as well as with Federal Protective Service in Atlanta as their mission support chief. And went back to VA, three separate three separate departments, and realized, okay, when I'm in this journey, I need to make sure that I am making a difference. And if I find I cannot make a difference, it's time for me to move to a or an or a department that will
Mm-hmm.
be able to benefit from the experience that I have, the knowledge that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and what I can bring to the table. Ladies, if you find yourself not at the table, it's time to pick up your plate, wash
Come
it,
on.
and go to another eatery.
Come on.
So, and thank you all for your congratulations. I see some of those that are posting out there.
Yes.
But I really want to make sure that I emphasize that you're worth more than you're valued if you're not at the table.
Repeat
Hear me
that,
again.
please.
You're worth more than you're valued if you're not at the table. It goes
Come
back to
on.
what my nana said. They can take away everything, but not your education. And education does not have to be formal. Education
That's
can
right.
be what you learn from the block. Education
Yes.
can be what you've learned from another sister, another brother, another anyone. Let
Yes.
me
And
tell you,
yes.
my most valuable lessons, again, you all heard my testimony. My most valuable lessons were from the drug addicts, the pimps, the
Yes.
prostitutes,
Come on.
the drug addicts, the people that were in alternate lifestyles. Those were the ones, for some reason, I have no idea, decided to tell me something that I needed to hear. As in, don't hang out with this person, don't go over there, go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
learn. There isn't anything wrong with you. I had a very low self esteem. I thought I was the ugliest person, that I
Oh my
wasn't the
God, I can't even
swiftest
imagine.
tool in the shed. I wasn't a lot. You put wasn't, and that was me. Well, I'm here to
Wow.
tell you, ladies, again, put yourself in a position that's going to make you fruitful. And not only you, but the people around you fruitful. If
Yes.
not, you're going to find yourself in a position where you are that hamster in the wheel.
Mm.
And then once you finally get off of that wheel, you're going to say, what did I do?
Exactly.
What in the world did I do? I can tell you, you didn't do anything.
I love it. I love it. And see, this is real talk, ladies. This is real talk. I know we on here on Lawyer's Table Talking. We get into real discussions, and I'm loving how she's laying this out. You know, for one, she's a Marine, so we ain't got time to play with y'all. Okay, so we're gonna tell it like a TI is. We're not trying to be offensive or any of that, but sometimes it's the real talk that nudges people to make moves in their life that they must make in order to find some joy and some peace
Mhm.
and some happiness. Because one thing I always say to people, you know, I love what I do, and I do a lot, and this is one. I love what I do, and they happen to pay me for it, right? I don't get paid for this. R3 is a nonprofit, so we're working on it. But nonetheless, we're getting there. I got something for you though. You better believe that. But I love what I do in my life. And for anybody to not have that experience, you know, I want to shake them and say, come on, get into the game. Stop playing with your life. Like you said, little hamster wheel, you know. And I love what you also threw out there. It ain't about the formal education. You, and actually it's a Dr. Nina Graves that's on here watching us today, listening to you, who also, she's retired from the federal government. But it's not about just the knowledge you get in the school system, but taking what you have. Let me just say this to y'all. This lady and I was actually stationed in Hawaii at the same battalion. We've had an aha moment of that. And I kind of remember her. And she worked in the S1, which is the admin area. You know,
Right.
anytime we was taking leave or anything about our checks or whatever. But because she had a baby and already had been well taught to be an adult beyond me, I was in the street. I was
Yes.
one of the ones they said, don't hang with that chick, Kev. That sales chick, she a hot mess. She out all the time, running around doing her wild things. And so I'm a testimony to that because you were just at another level at a very young age, though, but
Mhm.
understood why, because you had another person that you're responsible for.
Mhm.
So I hope they got the name for us for who's going to get these 2 tickets. I hope that there's going to be some invites on that end for other people to participate in the Mind Merging Summit conference that's taking place in October. But let's talk a little bit more about this growth thing. If you were to give some nuggets for where you are today, because we ain't
Mhm,
talking to kids, we talking to grown doggone women.
mhm, mhm.
Give some nuggets to them about the mindset, the thinking, and techniques that you've used in order to continue to progress in life as you have.
Mhm. Humble yourself to learn from somebody less than you, because
Oh,
that is going to grow you more than you realize. Just because they haven't experienced whatever it is that you have doesn't mean that they cannot provide something. Is there's a saying, out of the mouth of babes, and that is so true. Just because Laurie is a CEO doesn't mean that she can't reach back and say, what do you think about X? So I would say that humble yourself to learn from somebody that's
I
far
love it.
apart from you. Uh, Make sure that you conversate with your partner, whatever that partner happens to be in your life, a work partner, a family partner, a distant cousin partner. Make sure that you start that communication, that dialogue. The best advice I've received, and I take to the grave, is I'd rather hear from somebody that has an opposite opinion of me than somebody that has the same, because
Come on.
that will allow me
Woo.
to grow better and have a huge wingspan on where I need to go for what I need to do. It doesn't matter what political, again, education level is not it. Your
Mm-hmm.
background is not it. Your culture, your whatever that happens to be, that's not it. What is it is the fact that you are reaching out and you're making sure that you are being the beacon for
Yes.
change.
Be
If you
that light.
can't be a beacon for change, you're always going to get stuck. And I cannot emphasize it enough. All of us are valuable. Stop listening to media that doesn't speak to us. And I mean, as women
Ooh,
or as
girl. Come
men
on.
in a certain, bracket, the media doesn't speak to us, about us, and for us. We do that story. Make your story, but make sure your story is a story that can be told over again for production. Okay.
That,
Don't think,
ooh.
yeah. Last but not least, change your language. I can't say that enough. If you
Mm-hmm.
find yourself saying a lot of negative words, whatever it be, change it. Write those down and say, okay, well, what's the opposite word of this? Because that's what I want in my aura, in my world. I tell you what, when I wake up in the morning, as crazy as it sounds, I say to myself, uh, okay, how am I going to be great today? Or if I don't feel like being great for myself, who else can I help make great? So again,
Girl.
who else can I help make great? And if you can
Sewing,
help somebody
sewing.
else be great, and it could be as simple as good morning. When I go around and I walk my dog in the morning, the kids are at the corner. Now these are different generation kids. Some
Yes,
of
Lord.
them are new to the neighborhood. So when I pass them, I say, "Good morning. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do great things today." And their whole face changes.
Yes.
Even the teenagers are like, "Let's do great things." All right, I'm doing great things today. Doggone right. I know my mother and my father just got finished blasting me out about not cleaning my room or not taking out the trash or not picking up after the dog or the cat. But Dr. Taylor just got finished passing me with her little dog and said, well, that dog's not little,
Yeah,
but
no, he's not.
yeah, she's not.